Natural gas accounts for about 1/5 of global energy today. Its share is 1/5, and we are actually very confident that that will grow substantially. So we're talking about a market that today is approximately 3.2 trillion cubic meters per year, and we actually expect that to increase by about 50% by 2030. Very strong global growth. What's driving that? Well, we certainly see on the supply side a strong resource base, so we don't see an issue really in the ability of the supply side to meet that growth. The issue is more on the demand side. Really, when you're talking about that level of increase, natural gas is going to have to penetrate very significantly the power generation market. In fact, over half the growth needs to be in power generation, and there it's going to have to come up against a very strong competitor, coal, which is generally lower cost and more cost competitive. So that's the real issue, how natural gas will compete with coal. But on balance, very strong growth over the next 15 years. The traditional production centres for natural gas have been Russia for pipeline gas and Qatar for LNG. They will continue to be critical, important producers of natural gas into the future. But if we're looking at new areas of growth, I would really identify three. First of all, of course, the shale gas revolution in North America, in the United States and Canada. That's going to continue to grow very substantially, and we will see LNG exports from both countries entering the international market. The second area of growth I'd emphasize are the ultra-deep water plays. We're discovering a lot of gas in ultra-deep water areas. That's water that's typically at least 1,500 meters deep. The key play that's particularly exciting and large here is East Africa, so that's Mozambique and Tanzania. But it's actually much more widespread than that. We're also finding deep water gas in the Eastern Mediterranean, Israel, Cyprus, in the Black Sea, in Brazil, in Australia. So it really is a new trend, and that's a place to watch. The third area, but this I think is much more of a wild card, is Iran. Iran, of course, has the largest proven reserves of natural gas along with Russia in the world, and it's often been described as a sleeping giant. In fact, IHS put out a report over 10 years ago describing Iran as a sleeping gas giant. It clearly has the potential to ramp up very significantly if we see a significant change in access to technology and access to capital, a change in the sanctions regime. So I think three areas to watch in the future: shale gas coming out of North America, the ultra-deep water plays, particularly East Africa, and then that wild card of Iran in the Middle East. So we have a robust outlook for the growth of natural gas, but if we turn to the LNG industry, I think it'll be even stronger, even more robust. We're actually talking of a doubling of the LNG industry between now and 2030. So going up from 240 million tonnes to about 480 million tonnes. What's driving that? Well, I think there'll be a number of major new players in the LNG industry. First of all, Australia is in the process of ramping up very significantly and is on target to become the world's leading LNG player at some point within the next 3 or 4 years. The United States and Canada will ramp up their production very significantly. I think we'll also see Russia looking to increase its role in the LNG business as well. And then there are the new deep water plays, particularly East Africa, place to watch. So I think this is a business that's going to grow and evolve very significantly over the years ahead. Unconventional gas, and particularly shale gas, has really transformed the landscape in North America. But we really are at the very early stages when we look outside of North America. There have been less than 1,000 wells drilled around the world for shale gas outside of North America, which is less than what's drilled in 1 month in the United States. So it really is a very early process. It's going to take at least 10 years to really scale up and ramp up. But taking a longer term perspective, this could indeed become a big business. It's hard to believe that North America will have some kind of unique hold over this technology and this resource. Shale gas is widely distributed around the world. And I think key countries to watch, particularly China and Argentina. And China would be my guess for possible leader in developing the shale gas in the future. Europe is also an interesting one to watch. Within the European space, Poland and the United Kingdom, I think, would be good ones to keep an eye on. So very much a watching brief on this evolving area. So when will European gas recover? I think the answer is never. At least when we talk about the EU 28. It's looking increasingly tough challenge for gas demand to recover to its level of 2007 before the financial crisis. So Europe really is the big exception to this story of strong global gas growth as it goes in a different direction. What is the cause for this pain and trouble in the European gas industry? Well, the gas industry in Europe really finds itself under attack from both sides. It is losing market share to coal, which is a cheaper, competitive resource, and at the same time it's losing market share to renewables, which are more expensive but are being subsidized. So it is a victim of this twin pincer movement.